Hey guys, this is the branch vlog for version 0.1.9.0. So this one, Cafeteria. This was not only recreating the level, but adding extra things into it. So items you'd find in this level, a door sprite specific to this level, which I'll showcase, and just a couple of other fixes I made. So if we do what we usually do and start from the top, I guess that's the first thing that's not actually related to the cafeteria. I added a health watch thumbnail and sprite. So if I just show you it, so there's the thumbnail, that one. And then, as you know, if you see my other video where I did like a thumbnail version 2.0, I not the blueprint, I rework the items to come from this. So it's the thumbnails sheet, but without the background and without the text. So then that just becomes, the item. So there you go. There's the health watch. So now that's just got an up-to-date sprite. Originally I had it coded where it didn't tell you vitals on the top right. If I just show you here, until you equipped the health watch, and it's easy enough to do. I just need to create an extra equipment slot that's specific to the health watch, and then I'll add that back in. In terms of creating the cafeteria level, so I'll load it up through this way first. A lot of the assets you're seeing here, all the assets except from the items and the doors and this background, are all version 2. So you see like the lower amount of pixels than the others. That's because they've taken from the original cafeteria level. So I've I've created this level. I've created a player start, which you see here, cafeteria player start, and this door is cafeteria to hallway player start, destination hallway level. And as you know, I created like a Resident Evil sort of movement between the levels. So that's what I'll show you in a minute. This is something to do with the orthographic camera. See, it's not really shadows. It's more like it's out of range. So I need to look at that. It's only an issue with orthographic. But yeah, you see, if I go to here, so yeah, it uses the sprite of that door in this little video. There's that, and then that's the cafeteria. So that wasn't there before. So there's a new cafeteria door. It's not as laggy on like a proper version, but this is almost like it's running itself in code. So that's why it's a bit laggy going between things. Funny story. First time I used it, it said there was an error because it ran out of memory. I've got 32 gig of RAM, like DDR5, but yeah, the moment it said it was out of memory, there was a music video on to the right of me which had a little warning sign about being out of memory. So, like system failure, so how typical. But that is the level, and also the cafeteria door and kitchen door you see there, and the transition between the hallway and cafeteria. So next we've got rework the crafting code to append from game instance to inventory. Yes, so this is quite an important one. Fortunately, a quick one to fix. I hate when it puts event graph anywhere but the second. There we go. So originally this was get the unlockable items from the game instance comes from the protagonist, because the protagonist loads first, then the game instance, then the inventory. This is the inventory blueprint, so you see that's why there's a flow like this. Unlock craftable items, and then it was doing the set like this, like that. It just used to be like that, like a set, which didn't really make sense because every time, regardless of what unlocked craftable items you might have in your inventory, it was just uh, overruling it with what was in the game instance. So instead I changed it to a get that array from the game instance and then loop through it and then append the unique ones into here. So whenever you save it, you go into another level, which is like an auto save. It'll feed back into the game instance and it'll save all your unlocked craftable items. So then when you load the level back up, so you saw that level transition, when you do that level transition into the other level, or you load the game, it will then append the uniques back in rather than it just being an overwrite. And because before it was an overwrite, essentially, if you didn't have it in the game instance to begin with, the list of craftable things, then it was just like, nah, not interested. This way, it just adds to it rather than it, just being like an overruling thing. Tweaked the crafting menu AI. So yeah, tweaked it a bit. So actually, you might be able to see it better in the widget. Let me get you the widget. This one tweaked a couple actually. So get them both up. So the entry widgets, I moved that from being like right justified to left justified to just give it like a bump of like a 5 padding, and just increased that image to 70 by 70, not that one, 60 by 60. Oh yeah, just so it doesn't take up too much space. But yeah, that was originally like something a bit bigger, something a bit smaller. And then the crafting menu, so that bit I just showed you will like come under here where that white line is and it'll just fill up. But I narrowed the crafting menu. I moved the crafting button from there to the right. I narrowed that. I increased the image size of this to 70 by 70, which is correct. Like there's full length square pixel, like full square of pixels that you see in those thumbnails. So that's 1 for 1. And if I just play it now, you'll see. There you go. So you got cheeseburger, Grande tasty, hamburger, and supreme hot dog. So that's that. So I tweaked it and then created the recipes. So yeah, I'll actually show you the background of it. Consumable here. I will put them into their own food thing. Let's just pick, that top one. So supreme hot dog. Oh, supreme. There we go. On here, recipe, I just add in the item classes I want and how many. So, hot dog bun, one hot dog bun, one hot dog, one tomato sauce, one mustard. That's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail without the background and the text. I used an atlas texture. You'll see that other video if you're really interested in doing it. Essentially, you can't force sprites into like a texture brush thing for an items, but you can force sprites into an atlas texture into the items. So yeah, it's not intuitive at all, but it does work. So look at my other video to do with that. And I think that'll be really helpful if you're like me, because originally I was creating each one of these items, not in the blueprints, in the assets. Each one of these raw, one by one by one by one by one, and then sprites of them one by one by one. You see there's a bunch of these I haven't even incorporated or turned to like version 2 or even version 3 sprites. There's quite a lot of room for improvement. Doing that one by one by one, and now obviously it'd be one by one for these sort of bigger items, but in terms of collectible usable items, I can just do what you see here. I can just rip off the background and the text and like the info to see, well, it's like armor piercing or fire shock for example, and then just dump them in as the in-weld sprites. So that's that. That's how that works. They all work through a similar sort of thing. You'll see the parent class is Hamburger. That's because I just needed to pick one item to be like the parent class. So then if we go to Hamburger, the parent class is stamina small, and then because it's all the stamina you see is food, so and yeah, stamina small parent class is like the master item. So you see there's a lineage there. So that's all these different items, recipes. Creating the items was pretty straightforward, just using the item thing I already had set up, just snapping off a child and adding in little tweaks. If I just show you how it works, I'll just check everything. Yep, okay, so let's create something. Let's create the supreme hot dog. So we need one hot dog bun. We need one hot dog. And come on, give me the tomato sauce. Right, so we've got space, so I click craft, and each one of those will disappear, and I will be left with, on the right, a cheesy single and a supreme hot dog. There we go. Hover over it. There we go. And then you can't eat it unless your stamina's been used. So run, jump in, or run in, eat it. There you go.
You healed, boy.
Yeah, it's a throwback thing. L for lights. Just I haven't got everything perfected yet. These are collisionable. The original version 1 of the cafeteria room was pretty cool because it was more kind of, didn't have so much width, but it had further length, and I had a bunch of zombies in there, and the nav mesh worked around the table, so you could do a Benny Hill thing. I think I said it before, where you could just run around the tables to get away from the zombies. So once I get the nav mesh in, I'm going to create that, because you see that's raised forward a bit. You can go into the back to go into the kitchen that was not done yet. You go through the back, go through the front, there you go. And you can pick up hamburger. You can make your own hamburger if you wanted. So we want hamburger, I think that's it, yep. Craft, boom. Not stackable. I made it not stackable for these. That is that, and the only other thing to discuss is the creating items only removes the first item. So yes, here it was originally which one was it? That. It was originally that. And what that was doing, if I show you it now, so we get that, we get that, we get that, we get that. You see that? I craft it. Only removes the first item. And I made it ages ago. Fortunately, it only took me a couple of minutes to figure it out. Once I realised it was in the inventory, because I was looking in the crafting menu originally, and the crafting menu was just like immaculate. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working in this code. I was like, the code is so simple. I even put it into its own function just to make it 100% sure I wasn't going crazy. But yeah, nice and straightforward. I did toggle show notifications, so when you create it, that thing flies in to say like, hey, you've created this. But yeah, it actually needed to be the element into the index. Let's test it one more time. But yeah, that was the last thing. So that should remove everything. Yep, just create the hot dog. Job done. And that is this branch, cafeteria branch. Next is Sarah's bedroom. That look like this text the moment I actually put some text on after that asterisk, but until then it kind of looks like that. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll just put sorted and then hash, you know, just waiting for it. Commit, yep, there you go. So Sarah's bedroom, so as you know, I've already got, like in the other vlogs, I kind of quickly go through what I'm gonna do in like the follow-on branches. So as you know, I've already got like Jackie's bedroom, my bedroom, or protagonist bedroom, Barry's. Sarah is another one of the batch of trainees. I think more say trainees, or more I think it's the wrong name. Essentially, these people, if you watch the year one video to do with the characters or the story video, I think both, I discuss how these people put forward a case to come aboard the ship. So they may be trainees on the ship, but in essence they are graduates of a particular field. So whether that's like a research field, medical field, engineering field, or yeah, there's a few scientific field separate from research. Whatever fields they have come aboard as almost like the workers, so the initiates of that area. So that's what you will be. You're an initiate of one of the areas. Sarah's initiate of one of the areas. So is Barry. So is Jackie. So is loads of them. So yeah, I need to create their individual bedrooms one by one. So I'm going to create Sarah's bedroom next. In terms of placement, let's just save that. So we've got mine, well, John's the protagonist, Barry, Jackie, Barry, cafeteria, kitchen inside the cafeteria. Thinking I'm gonna put Sarah's here, that one. I did that, the last branch I did was the NPCs. I don't think I ever actually showed you all the NPCs, but I've just created placeholders. You'll see all the feet I've sunk through. It's just to do with how I've essentially I needed to knock it down a couple of pixels and I didn't, but they recalibrate and realign perfect on load. But yeah, these are a bunch of trainees, antagonist, the security, the doctors, the marines, personnel, engineers. See the kind of color coded bit in the uniforms, just so you can kind of figure it out. So you see the main character, which is us, you saw us running around with, same uniform as this one. Johnny, I think Johnny. Sarah, Jackie, and oh no, sorry, that's Johnny. I think that's Craig. So you see they've all kind of got similar sort of uniforms. So that is how you kind of identify them. Research. Research? Might be scientific. Can't remember. Research, scientific, security, marines. They're definitely engineers. The cook. Subjects, like test subjects. Yeah, and yeah, kind of made them all a bit unique, but I know, why don't we just run past them just so you see them. Let's try not to die. Oh my god. It gets progressively harder to not die. They've all got idle as sprites at the moment, that's why they just look idle. There we go. That's all of them. See, the names haven't all been populated, just the ones that have already been done. And yeah. Got me. That's that. So that is that is the cafeteria bit, showing a bit of that previous branch. Sarah's bedroom. The kitchen will just be an extension of the cafeteria. So you already saw the kitchen doors. I'll just create a separate room for that. As you know, the next few branches, I discussed it on the previous vlog. Next few branches are just going to be bashing out rooms to at least like a version 3 standard, so just missing polish. And then, yeah, just bash out all the rooms, so then I can start adding in the quests, and then I can start tidying things up. And then once that's all done, eventually go in a room by room basis, or version 3 to version 4 updates. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for your time, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks.